Hi, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. I'm back with a 1339 facts book. I have now been made aware that this book is based on a TV show, like a game show, I think, out of the UK. I still haven't watched it or the other ones that were mentioned, even though they sound like they're funny or interesting. But I just haven't had time to check them out. But we left off, look, we got a long way to go, guys. There's no time for talking. Let's get started. So these are just kind of strange facts, and a lot of them are definitely UK-based facts, which is fun for me because I don't know what they're talking about. So let's see what we have here. The existence of photographic memory has never been scientifically proven. Okay, well, I do think some people definitely see memories as a picture, and some people see it some other way that I don't understand because I see it as a picture. Like, my memories are all like video or photographs in my head. Does that make sense? Anyway, talk in the comments. Let me know, like, when you have a memory, what is it like in your head? I wonder. I would see, in my mind, I think everybody just sees pictures or videos, but maybe that's not true. A decapitated planarian flatworm grows a new brain complete with its old memories. That's so cool. How do they know? Oh, because they tested what it can remember somehow. Wow. A human liver can grow back even after 75% of it is removed. Yeah, my girlfriend's son had to have a liver transplant, and her brother gave his part of his liver, and they just go in and slice a little piece off and put it in the kid, and his grows back. It's pretty cool. 95% of all, I made that sound easy. It was more complicated than that, but okay. 95% of all avocados on sale today are descended from one tree grown by a Milwaukee postman in 1926. What? Really? Why a Milwaukee postman? He just made he grafted a great avocado or something. I've never heard that. In French, avocat means both lawyer and avocado. In German, Strauss means both ostrich and a bunch of flowers. Huh. Interesting. In Norwegian, oh boy, I'm going to get this one wrong, and I know there's a person from Norway watching. Paleg is anything that could conceivably be put in a sandwich. I need to know the right pronunciation of that because that's a funny thing to say. You just look in the fridge and pull everything out. That's all Paleg. In Old Norse, I'm in trouble, guys. Gveis meant uneasy after debauchery. I think we've all felt Gveis at one time or another. Gambrinos means being full of beer. Hops contain antioxidants, but you'd have to drink 118 gallons of beer a day to see any health benefits. French wrestler Andre the Giant once drank 119 beers in 6 hours. That's crazy. 119 beers in 6 hours. In 1876, the Munich Health Department ruled that breastfeeding women only need to drink 2 pints of beer a day. Okay. Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, was originally going to be about a talking parrot. What a different poem that would be. That's like Jimmy Buffett's version of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm picturing that now. It's It's like a Saturday Night Live skit or something. The last speaker of the Amazonian Atur language was a parrot. Because parrots can live like 100 years. So if they learned a language at the end of a society, they could carry it on. Oh, I was wrong. I said 100. Parrots can live for 80 years. I thought they lived even longer than that. There are whales alive today that were born before Moby Dick was written in 1851. Wow. What year was this published? Because that's awesome. How long do whales live? This is published in 2013, so 10 years ago. Do whales live that long? Is that true? True or false? We're back to see this book. I'm always like, is that right? If a dead whale is found on a British beach, the head belongs to the king and the tail to the queen. Okay. The first two police officers sworn into the Metropolitan Police were both later sacked for drunkenness in the streets. The demilitarized zone between North and South Korea is the world's most militarized zone. That's funny. The 1784 Kettle War between the Netherlands and the Holy Roman Empire involved only a single shot. It hit a kettle. 21% of British households don't possess a kettle. Well, come on, guys. Get your kettle. Everybody should have a kettle. I'm American and even I have a kettle. Although mine's like a little Corningware. It does like 2 cups of hot water. But it's perfect. It has a little corn flour on it. It's cute. 1 in 8 British adults owns a onesie. 1 in 8 British adults owns a onesie. Well, there's a fact that isn't true in the U.S. I bet you'd be hard pressed to find an adult who owns a onesie. 2/3 of British children aged 5 to 13 can work a DVD player, but fewer than half can tie their shoelaces. Well, first of all, that's sad, but also that's dated. I bet now they can't work a DVD player or tie their shoes. They've gotten even dumber. 60% of British meals are eaten in front of the TV. That's probably true here too. Early BBC TV showed pictures and sound alternately. They only had one transmitter, so couldn't do both at the same time. Wow, that's weird. I'm hiding my thumb because I have this cut. I cut myself on glass and it went. It looks ugly. Until the 1920s, television was also known as hear-seen, seen by wireless, optophone, farscope, and the electric telescope. TV dinners were so called because the compartments resembled the screen and knobs of an old-style round-cornered TV. I gotta think on that for a minute. Is that true? I thought it was actually because you could eat them in front of the TV. It's because they look like a TV? Maybe. Rounded corners on the electronic devices have been patented by Apple. Rounded corners on electronic devices. Okay. That's interesting. Nokia once made gas masks. The Finnish army used them until 1995. The French, gas mask. I did one of these videos on wartime manufacturing, and I talk about a company that my grandmother-in-law worked for in Detroit that made gas masks during the war, but they were, I think they were a vacuum maker. And it's just the videos about different companies that made products unlike anything that they normally make during wartime. So if you're interested in that, but that might be how Nokia ended up making gas masks. The French company Bish changed its name to Bic to stop people in English-speaking countries pronouncing it bitch, which is what I almost did. So. Play-Doh was originally designed as wallpaper cleaner. The first bubblegum produced bubbles that had to be removed from the face with turpentine. I still feel that way sometimes. If I make it, because I can blow a real big bubble. I can do a double. Sometimes I can do a triple bubble. I haven't tried it in a while, but I think I could still do it. And then we used to take it out of our mouth and take the gum and make it look like feet and like walk it around and then stick it back in your mouth. James I of England only ever washed the tips of his fingers. Well, I think we're lucky he washed it all because back in the old days, they didn't do a lot of washing. Louis the 13th, XIII is 10, 11, 12, 13. I have a video on Roman numerals, if you're curious, of France, wasn't bathed until he was almost 7. Yeah, that's why we're lucky James washed his fingers. According to a passenger from Sudan, the first London Underground trains smelt like crocodile breath. How did they know? Going back to Louis the 13th of France, if my boys had had their choice, they probably wouldn't have bathed till they were 7 either. Actually, I got them little like boats that they could float in the bathtub, and then they kind of liked it, I guess. But they still, my one son, he never wanted me to like pour water over his head to wash his hair. He was such a baby about it. The air in London is cleaner now than at any time since the 16th century. Well, that's good. In the 16th century, Britain had one pub for every 200 people, as it should. At any one time, 45 million people in the world are drunk. Yeah. Hangovers cost the U.S. economy more than $220 billion in lost productivity each year. Oh my God. A popular Roman hangover cure was deep-fried canary. Pliny the Elder advised tying a fox's genitals to the brow to cure headaches. Pliny the Elder, sorry. There's a podcast I listen to sometimes called Sawbones, and they talk about misguided medicine historically. And Pliny the Elder comes up all the time on that podcast. I haven't actually listened to that podcast in a long time, but I used to listen to it. Some episodes are really good and some are boring, so you kind of have to pick around. I never know how to say this. I think it's Chopin. Chopin whistled or played chords on the piano when he had trouble urinating. I mean, okay. Giving Prozac to a snail renders it unable to stick to surfaces. Well, why are you giving Prozac to a snail? Snails are chill. They don't need that. Viagra was developed to treat angina. Angina, yeah, that's like a heart. It was to like dilate the vessels or something in your heart, but it ended up having the other effect too. Fatal heart attacks were known before 1900. The first medical description of one in Britain was 1925. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. Fatal heart attacks were unknown before 1900. Oh. Okay. I don't know if that's interesting or not. The human heart is not on the left-hand side of the body. It's in the middle. Okay. I mean, I thought it was kind of like shifted to that direction, but okay. Each time a fertile man's heart beats, he makes 15,000 new sperm. Wow. Men. Over a lifetime, the human heart pumps enough blood to fill a football stadium. Well, I guess it depends on your lifetime. In 1903, the 3 largest sports stadiums in the world were all in Glasgow. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Are you guys hearing something? Hold on. Hello. I feel like my mic's making a noise. Do you guys hear it? Sorry if you do. It might be my ears. might have to re-record this. Hold on. Sorry. I think it's my ears. Okay, never mind. The pregnancy of the frilled shark lasts for 3 years, the longest in nature. That's too long. The tutera, a New Zealand reptile that predates the dinosaurs, has 3 eyes. What? I need to see this. Tuatara. I tell you, New Zealand and Australia, they have all the good stuff, you guys. They have all the cool animals. They've got the platypus. They've got, apparently, the tuatara that I have to look up now after this. They've got the, I don't know, they got all the good ones. I can't think of them right now, but they got them. Babies have 3 times as many taste buds as adults. Huh, that must be why they don't like, like blue cheese. Adults probably have to have really strong flavors just to taste them, and babies are like, holy smokes, you're killing me. Squid taste with their tentacles. I thought this was saying testicles. Tentacles, well, sure, that makes sense. That's funny. The Chinese fruit, Serratia grosvenori, is 300 times sweeter than sugar. Oof. The principal killer of elephants in American zoos is obesity. Oh, man. Because they can't walk around enough. North Americans account for less than a 16th of the world's people, but more than a third of their weight. Golly. These are the British making fun of us, you guys. Just North Americans. We're not all fat. I mean, I could use to lose a couple pounds, but all right. Kunga cake is an East African food made from millions of crushed midges. Like, I know what a midge is. What's a midge, guys? It must be a bug. Midges, midges. Midges. Must be a bug. The star-nosed mole can identify and eat an insect quicker than you can read the word mole. Flamingo tongues were a delicacy in ancient Rome. What? Flamingo tongues? Okay, I guess I didn't know a flamingo had a tongue. Because birds say they have tongues. I guess they do. I'm learning, so I don't know. A tiger's tongue is so rough that if it licked your hand, it would draw blood. I believe that because my kitty cats, they have really rough tongues. Like if they sit and just lick one spot on your hand, look, this lip stain. You guys, if you watch my packing video, I put lip stain. I've washed it like 3 times. Anyway, I've had my kitty cats lick in one spot, like trying to clean something off me for some reason. Imaginary thing. And it'll feel like they're going to rip your skin apart. More is known about the behavior of big cats in Africa than that of domestic cats in Britain. Probably. In 17th century England, effigies of Guy Fawkes were stuffed with live cats to make the figure scream as it burned. That's terrible. Ew. I don't like that at all. They stuffed them with live. That's terrible. Cat and the Stoet was a medieval festival in Belgium in which cats were thrown from the town's belfry. Golly. Why are you guys all so mean to cats? I understand that back then cats probably were running rampant. And so they would just, stuff them and burn them. It's terrible. In 1879, the Belgian city of Liège commissioned 37 cats to deliver mail to nearby villages. The project was a complete failure. Can you imagine? Putting the mail on a cat's back and it just goes to sleep. John Lennon and Paul McCartney both had cats named Jesus. The Beatles' classic Yesterday was originally titled Scrambled Eggs. I've heard that before. Anyway, Scrambled eggs. Doot, doot, doot. I'm a Poached Egg is a love song by George Gershwin. Albert Einstein claimed his second best idea was to boil his eggs in his soup, thus saving on washing up. I do stuff like this sometimes. I mean, like if I make I don't know, I can't think of an example, but like where I'll kind of like use soup to cook my other things. I'm trying to think of an example. Well, like I'll make a chicken broth to make gravy. And sometimes I'll use the chicken broth to boil my potatoes and then take the potatoes out to make mashed potatoes and then use the broth to make gravy. Anyway, the moon is shaped like an egg. It only looks round because the big end points towards the earth. Huh, okay, that's kind of interesting. The coldest known place in the solar system is in a crater at the north pole of the moon. Crater at the north pole of the moon. Okay. Oymyakon in Russia is the coldest inhabited town on Earth. Its only hotel has no hot water and an outside toilet. Why? That sounds miserable. Between 2010 and 2013, the London Fire Brigade rescued 18 children with their heads stuck in toilet seats. What is happening? After just 4 moves in a game of chess, there are, I don't even know how to read this number, 318 billion 970 no 318 million 979 no I can't read that number possibilities for the layout of the board. I think that's billion, million, hundreds of thousands, right? So that can't be right. Is that right? I don't know. The 1978 chess final at HM Prison Wormwood Scrubs was between Moore's murderer, Ian Brady, and disgraced MP John Stonehouse. Whoa, I don't know who any of these people are, or that place. In 1913, Hitler, Stalin, Tchaikovsky, Tito, Freud, Jung, and Wittgenstein were all living in Vienna. I mean, that's always kind of interesting. My husband directed a play once called, in fact, I think it's by Steve Martin, called Picasso at the L'Appenagile, and it's a fictional account of, I think it was Einstein, Picasso, I forget who else, anyway, and they meet up at this bar in Paris. But it's kind of interesting that, they were all alive at the same time in the same place. I went to Falling Water, which is Frank Lloyd Wright's house he built the house for the Kaufmans, I think, in Pennsylvania. And there was a time when, I think it was the Kaufmans, they owned department stores. I think it was the Kaufmans had Frank Lloyd Wright and Einstein. Oh boy, I forget. And maybe it was Picasso for a party in that house. I don't know. That's totally wrong. But they did have them as guests or something. I forget. But I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you don't think about the timeline. That would probably make an interesting video, actually, kind of doing a timeline of who was alive at the same time. I don't know. Like, when you learn how late Picasso lived the first time, it's kind of interesting. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. Dublin, Glasgow, London, petroleum, coal, wax, go forth, stay, and jump are all towns in Kentucky. Oh. Okay. The Irish pub furthest from Dublin is Waxy O'Shea's in Invercargill, New Zealand. Villages in County Durham include Pity Me and No Place. There are 6 villages in France called Silly, 12 called Billy, and 2 called Pratt. Silly Billy Pratt. That must be a nursery rhyme or something. I don't know. There are 11 places in Utah called Molly's Nipple. Molly's Nipple spelled different, and Molly's Nipple. Well, I've been to Utah a few times, and I can't think of those. I don't know. Female giant jumping rats have 4 nipples, 2 in the armpits and 2 in the groin. Well, I mean, cats have 6, I think, so that's not. In Arabic, buzz is Arabic for nipple. Dad is Albanian for babysitter. Water pony is Afrikaans for jet ski. Water pony, that's funny. I like that. I remember when, I won't say who, but somebody close to me, not my husband, but somebody I knew, used to always say, it was a dad, and he'd always say, I have to babysit today. And I was like, dude, you're their dad. You're not babysitting. It's called parenting. Anyway, 10,000 horses were killed at the Battle of Waterloo. That's terrible. The first skyscraper was a particularly tall horse that won the Epsom Derby in 1789. The first skyscraper. Oh, he was named Skyscraper? And that's where they got the word skyscraper. Okay. Snickers bars are named after a horse owned by the Mars Company. That's cute, Snickers. Well, I've seen plenty of horses at races called Snickers. Humans have 1 more bone in their body than horses. Okay. Human bone is 4 times stronger than concrete. I mean, some human bone is. Some people have kind of brittle bones. Your brain cells live longer than any other cells in your body. I hope so. You have taste receptors in your lungs. What? Really? I've never heard that one. The Cornish for heart is colon. Hands evolved before arms. Yeah, I mean, okay. After a double hand transplant, right-handed patients can become left-handed. Why? I would think it's your brain, not your hand, doing the work. Well, that is interesting if that's true. Huh. Mothers over 40 are twice as likely to have left-handed children as women in their 20s. Interesting. Makes you think that maybe the left-handers, because women only have so many eggs in a lifetime, right? And some of them drop off, so maybe the left-handers are more scrappy and stick around longer. Until the early 20th century, left-handedness in a wife was grounds for divorce in Japan. My uncle's a lefty, and they used to try to train it out of him in school. The Japanese for poverty is bimbo. Raicho, look, this is one of our Pokemon names, meaning Thunderbird, is Japanese for the rock ptarmigan or snow chicken. Hey, that is, I almost want to get out our Pokemon cards and look them up. Raichu, don't we have? That was in the, sorry guys, this is important. That was in the vintage cards, right? Are these the vintage? Wait a minute. Where are you, Raichu? I feel like he's right here somewhere. Ugh, they keep falling out of here. That's why I was gonna move them, but people got mad at me for taking them out. Where are you, Raichu? He's right here. I thought he was right here. Oddish. gosh, you guys. What? Where is he? Oh. Don't worry, it's in a hard case. There's Raichu. I thought he was a bird, but he's definitely not a bird. He evolves from Pikachu. Oh. Its long tail serves as a ground to protect itself from its own high voltage power. Well, I thought maybe he was going to be the, like a bird, like a thunderbird or something. Okay. Sorry for that deviation from our important content. Meaning thunderbird is Japanese for the rock ptarmigan or snow chicken. Chicken Alaska was going to be called ptarmigan Alaska, but no one could agree on the spelling. Alaska is the northernmost, westernmost, and easternmost state in the USA. Didn't we have this fact before on some other fact book? Shoot, where's that? Hold on. I'm looking for my map of the United States. Maybe there's one in here. I can't remember. Well, this isn't as good as I want it to be, but the northernmost, yes. The easternmost. The westernmost. Alaska is the northernmost, westernmost, and easternmost state in the United States. Because it crosses a thing over here, is that it? I know we looked this up and learned why it's the easternmost. Shoot. Or is it there's like I just don't recall. I don't remember why. I'm sorry, it's the easternmost. I have to look that up. Alaska strawberries was 19th century slang for dried beans. Empress Isabel of Bavaria bathed in strawberry juice. Ugh, sticky. In the Azerbaijani town of Neftalin, people bathe in crude oil to ease joint pain. Male eland antelopes let other males know how tough they are by clicking their knees. Click, click, click. Angelfish have black-lined stomachs to stop their insides giving them away after they eat something luminous. Sorry, anglerfish. Oh, they're the ones. They're the cool ones in, they're at the bottom of the ocean. They're in, like, Finding Nemo. I'll draw you a very good example of a anglerfish. As my recollection goes. And they have, like, a thing. And so then other fish come down here and go, hello. And they eat them. The longest recorded flight of a domestic chicken lasted 13 seconds. The highest ever jump by a rabbit measured 3 feet 3 inches. A rabbit was the only casualty of the first bomb in the Second World War to fall on British soil. A rabbit was the first bomb in the Second World. Okay. 95% of baby rabbits don't survive beyond their first 6 months. My kitty cat is meowing. He wants to be fed. In 3 years, 2 mating rabbits can theoretically produce 33 million relatives. Holy smokes. The world's biggest rabbit, Ralph from East Sussex, cost £50 a week to feed. It's funny. All right, guys. We'll have to come back to this next time because I have a kitty cat who is absolutely screaming to be fed. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.